Hey everyone, this is Angela. I hope that you guys have been good and groovy, and pardon me for the rocking that you're going to experience in this video, but I'm sitting in my favorite seat, my favorite chair, and she rocks. And so today I wanted to talk about closure, the all elusive closure, and my experience with closure, both expectations and the my lived reality of closure. It's something that I've been thinking about a lot. I think this is a good piggyback on the last video that I posted. And in that video, I discussed dating myself and being a good place with myself. And, you know, one of the things that really kept me in a situationship, an entanglement, if you will, for too long was the fact that I was looking for closure. I wanted some kind of closure. I wanted, you know, I'm a writer at heart, and, you know, one of the things about writing any story or article or editorial or whatever it is those last few paragraphs and how you tie it all up and how you summarize things and come to conclusions. The same in music. When I played music for a long time, those last few bars of a song, how you get closure. Closure is something I've been used to in my creative life. Actually, there are problems there that I could probably explore, but closure is not something that you always get. Closure is something that you have to give to yourself. And so that's what I really want to, that's what I'm discussing. And I realized this most recently. I was talking to a friend about a guy that I felt guilty about not, oh, I thought that was my sister, that I really felt guilty about not answering his phone calls, because it's just not like me, but there's somebody I just didn't want to see anymore, and I just really didn't know how to bring myself to tell him without hurting his feelings, because I've been accused of being blunt and mean, and yeah, that's enough. Blunt, mean, dismissive, when sharing how I really feel about something. And he really wasn't getting it, and he, you know, I hadn't called him in a while, and he just kept calling. I haven't heard from him in a moment, and I just felt really guilty about all of that. And I realized that I had to let go of needing to feel as though I didn't want to feel responsible for his feelings, which I'm not, but I didn't want to hurt him. And how people receive what you're giving to them, if you having good intentions, it has nothing to do with you. That's on them. And this leans into, you know, I have someone in my life who I'm cutting the cords from, and I'll just go ahead and say it. My mom, whom I love, is a narcissist. And I didn't know this as a child. I didn't know this as a young adult, but as someone living in their 40s, I know this now. And I'm finding that I'm cutting the cord in a lot of ways, because it's the healthiest thing for me to do. And it's been really hard because I wanted a summary in that relationship, in the sense that I really wanted her to grow and to understand my point of view on life and my life and how I chose and choose to live it. And it has nothing to do with me being trans, by the way. It really has to do with someone being an empath, protecting myself, protecting my emotions, protecting my well-being, and moving on from toxicity. And she could feel that I've been moving away from her emotionally, not offering the same kind of support that I used to, not entertaining hurtful actions on her part. And I find that as I watch myself take care of myself and pull away and honor myself first and ensure that my cup is full so I can use what runneth over for the others in my life, that wasn't good enough for her. It's not good enough for her, and she's been acting out. And I'm learning that I have to be okay with that. That the cording of the cord not only is it uncomfortable for me, it's uncomfortable for her, and how she chooses to handle that as a narcissist has nothing to do with me. And I've been thinking about closure in so many different ways. And, you know, I've watched a lot of videos on closure, and I've seen people, you know, do routines, or they do practices, or they'll do like ceremonies, like cutting cord ceremonies. You know, I'm really into the witchery and the spirituality of it all, but I realized that none of that has mattered for me, and I think it doesn't really matter unless you know what your intentions are for any situation that you want to move on from and gain closure. And you know, different types of closure require different tools, and so some ceremonies may work, but I realize, as I've done courting courts ceremonies with my mom, but they haven't worked because the intention hasn't been there. And I'm realizing that a part of the closure is about really focusing on yourself and creating a life for yourself and creating a new walk. And that's where I am. And as I create this new walk for myself and create a new journey and honor myself first, that my energy is shifting and I can see around me the closure happening. When you stand for yourself and you stand up for yourself and you take care of yourself first and your energy changes, I find that depending on the kind of closure that you need, you know, those relationships, those entanglements, those situations will fall off, be it a job, be it a person, be it a place you live. Those things will start to fall away. And I am closing many chapters currently in my life. I'm really dedicated to healing and approaching, I don't know what it is, but I've always had this feeling of blossoming the older I get. I've always felt like my 50s were going to be this really beautiful time of for self, and I'm manifesting that for myself, and I'm finding closure that I've wanted isn't going to happen, and that's something that you just recognize, you know, as life goes on and more experiences that you get. You may want closure from an ex, you may want closure from whatever situation, and closure sometimes means you moving on and not responding, not answering texts, not allowing people to be in your life, and waiting for some magical moment when you know things are over. Sometimes that is ego, and I am always in I don't want to say a fight because that's the wrong framework, but I'm always in this, well, I guess it is maybe a battle to overcome my ego and to recognize when it's my ego that's looking for validation and whether or not it's serving me. So I just wanted to really have this conversation, and something that I've been thinking about a lot because I've been experiencing so much closure in my life, and I feel now that I've been taking care of myself, I'm starting to see my life change in ways. I'm starting to see my future a little bit more clearly. And, you know, I've talked about making changes and being motivated by wanting to find love, but I'm recognizing that it's bigger than that. And it's about showing up on the planet as the person that I truly, truly want to be, as someone who is whole, someone who is healing. I don't know that I'll ever be healed. I know that I'm healed from a lot of situations, but there's more healing to take place, and I work on that daily. And yeah, I don't want to drag this out as always, you know, but this is something that's really been on my heart, and I really wanted to share it. Closure and what that means to me, what that looks like, and I want to offer anyone out there who's watching my videos who needs closure to really look inside and see what kind of closure are you looking for, why you need it, and is it something that you can give yourself so that you can move on. I'll leave it here. As always, guys, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. I love you all. Peace and blessings. Bye.